And let's set up a histogram. A lot of people will go up to and incorrectly do a column graph, but a column graph is not a histogram. And even if you go into all chart types, there's no histogram here. The only way to get a histogram is with that same data analysis tool. So if I select data analysis, there's another option for histogram. I'll say OK. And this time I'll try to make a mistake on this selection. You need an input range, you need a bin range. Ooh, what is that? Are you going to put labels in? Where are you going to put it? And so on. So already I'm in trouble because I didn't set up bins. What are bins? Bins are, what are you going to arrange this as? And students have a hard time with bins. The general rule of thumb is you can look at your standard deviation, which we're at 2.63, and you could go anywhere from 1 to a half a standard deviation, and you can manipulate that. But again, when you generate a histogram this way, just like with the column, if you decide you don't like that data, you have to regenerate the entire histogram, including setting up the bins. So in order to set up bins in your spreadsheet somewhere, you have to type, and this is basically, I'm going to type the word bin, and this is scratch paper. So what is my lowest value? My lowest value is 64. So I'm going to pick something larger than 64, and my standard deviation is 2.63. So I'm going to arbitrarily say bins that are a pattern of 2, and I want you typically want to pick them somewhere between values. These are all integers. So hypothetically, I'm just going to say let's pick 65 and a half. The next bracket would be 67 and a half. And then we'll drag that down, and we need to get to 77.5. So that very first bin is going to count everything smaller than 65 and a half. And that last bin, includes the 75. So this is scratch paper inside of your spreadsheet. Now I can use the data analysis tool, insert the histogram, input range, let's pick something, and up. Input range, let's select our data. And I see B, those are variables, B10 to B29. Bin range, let's select our data. Output range, where are we going to put this? Go big or go home. You're basically sizing the charts, and we want the charts. It'll also give us a frequency chart, and output range. Oh, see that data, even though I selected that, it disappeared. Let's try that again. So I click that, and I click up here. This time I think I have everything. Let's click OK. And because I made a mistake, it says input range must include at least one data point. I had it there a second ago. Input range J12. In this process, I accidentally selected the wrong input range. Even though I was in this dialog box here, it sometimes throws it up to the wrong place. So let's go back to this, select the input range again, because we can see what happened. It's kind of a buggy app. Select that, there's B10, G2, there's my bin range, my output range. There we go. We say OK, and oh, I did get it this time. Okay. Again, if you have or happen to have a, and actually I didn't even size my bins very well, so I had extra numbers here. That doesn't even matter. These bins don't even matter. I can delete my scratch paper. And if I have, let's say, oh, we made a mistake. This person was not 66 inches, but 65 inches. That changes all the values here, perhaps. But now I should have 3 values under 65 and a half. And now that's no longer accounted for with this tool in Microsoft Office. So that's Office, and this is kind of messy and ugly and tough to get students through it. I've done it many times and I can do it, but once Google made this easier, I jumped ship immediately.